Hey everyone. So I get a lot of questions around, how to teach workshops, how to like get people to come to workshops, how to do online art courses, and how to create membership sites and build audiences of fans. Like, how do you get all those people to like follow you and track your work and get into your art and your teachings? Well, it all comes down really what I learned to community. And like I swear, 5 years ago, I didn't know really anything about this. And so I asked around and people directed me to this one guy who knows more about this than anybody on the planet. Anyway, this is Nicholas Wilton at Art to Life, and I'm just super excited to share with you, have you guys meet a really good friend. He's also my coach, business mentor, Stu McLaren. I've been learning from Stu for the past 5 years. I'm in his business mastermind, and it's just been a super fun ride building out Art to Life. So, Stu, thanks so much for joining me today.
Dude, thank you for having me, and it's been amazing to watch the journey that you have been on with Art to Life, and I think of like all of the artists that you have been reaching over the years. It's amazing. And then I also know this, and I want to share this with your audience because um, what is most telling to me of you and your heart is the way in which you gush about the people that you get to serve and their artwork and the way in which you are so proud of the progress that people are making. And it just shows like your heart and your commitment to your audience. And this is a huge reason why, uh, in my opinion, you've seen so much success with the Art to Life community.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks so much. And it was cool. Just so the audience knows, Stu's like brilliant business mind and creativity and everything. But he came to one of my. I did a day-long workshop, so he got to experience what we do all the time. Playing with materials, and actually got into it. Bought a paint set, and you know,
Totally. And I was saying like um I I'm still trying to understand the artist way because there was a moment everyone's going to understand. There was a moment in the workshop and Nicholas has got I'm seeing this like beautiful painting and he's teaching, different concepts and so forth. And all of a sudden he just dumps like a whole bunch of paint on this beautiful painting and I'm like, "No! Like don't do that." And there was like this moment of like, "What's going on?" And then there was this other moment I'll never forget. Like I'm working on my own piece of art that Nicholas you're guiding us through, and then I was kind of stuck. Like I kind of stalled in terms of like my next steps. And you came over and you started helping and again you started chopping it all up and doing all these things and I'm like what is happening, but it was an amazing experience because it really taught me to like the importance of like letting go and getting in the moment and really like taking in and running with any ideas that are coming, even if like so often we put that block on and like, oh no, it's only the good ideas, like I can only move forward on the good ideas. And
right.
what I really learned from that whole experience was just how important all ideas are and eventually getting us to where we want to get to.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the most surprising things for me in the past 5 years was, I kind of came into this. I mean, I've been an artist my whole life and kind of, know a little bit about business and promotion and stuff, to get by. But when I started learning, and a lot, frankly, from you, I discovered that there were a bunch of things that so related to art making that
Mm,
also were business making. Like these two worlds are not far apart, which
mm,
I mean, it's never described that way. I mean, I believe now, and this is how I sort of teach it, is that like artists are particularly suited to do business, like, and so I just wanted today, we've got a few minutes here. I just wanted to share with everyone here the three things that I think were huge game changers for me that really relate to art making, but also to business making. And the primary one, and it's what I teach and it's what you teach, Stu, is like you've got to be involved with something that you're creating, whether it's a business or your art, it like has to totally matter to you. You have
Yes.
to be, it has to be aligned. And all the entrepreneurs that are working with you, Stu, and coaching from you, we're all doing businesses that we really super care about. Like no one's just making stuff to make money. They're doing something that they care about. And I don't know, you've always you just role model that. And that's not what all business is, I know, but can you just hit that a little bit? Because it's so
Well,
cool.
well, I think, people feel it, just like in art. Like when somebody pours their heart and soul into a piece of art, you can feel it. And it's hard to describe. Like it kind of connects on a deeper subconscious level. But like when you come across an amazing piece of art, there's emotions that get, evoked from that piece of art. And I believe, and I don't know what your feelings are on this, Nicholas, but like when you are, connected and you have that passion, it comes across in the work that you produce. And the same is true for business. Like, when you're in it because you're deeply connected to it, at that deep rooted level, people pick up on it. They can feel that energy. And so I'll give you an example. Like I was just recently chatting with someone about how initially, like when I got started in business, it's because it's for all the things that I didn't want to do. Like I didn't want to go down the corporate path. I didn't want to be stuck in a
Right.
cubicle. I didn't want to wear a shirt and tie. Like I got into business for myself because of the things that I didn't want in my life. And then, you evolve. And I think it's a lot like an artist. Like you evolve. And, for me, my reasons changed, when I began my family, like with my, now my two kids and my beautiful wife, Amy, like my reasons changed. And now even they've changed even further. They've just gone to another level because now I'm so deeply connected for me to the ripple effect of what it is that we get to do. And that's, guaranteed. Like when I'm having a bad day, I just need to read the stories
Yeah.
of the people in our community and it immediately turns everything around. And that shows me like why I do what I do. And I just think like whether we're creating an amazing piece of art or whether we're creating an amazing business, both are canvases. And when we show up and we're passionate about it and it's deeply connected to who we are, it shows up in our art and in the way in which we do business.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Like getting that as soon as you can, like just focusing and learning how to get your art like you. So it's personal. So it is you.
Mm.
And then it's unique. And that's a huge
It,
game changer for sales, for people connecting to it because they know you and they want more, all of that. But you're touching on this second point, Stu, which is something that just the last couple of years that I've learned from you, and that idea of, when you have, because it's yours and you truly care about this thing you're making, that if you can learn to be, step out a little bit and show your enthusiasm about it, share
mm,
your excitement about it. I mean, seriously, that's what people are buying, right? And same thing with art, just being able to like post it and talk about it. And that's what people want in their homes. They want to connect to that. And I remember you talking about this a lot, especially around, marketing courses and things, not selling from your heels, but just sharing with people because it is so great. It's.
well, what's interesting about this too, Nicholas? Like, for a long time, I was learning from so many different mentors, and I'm so grateful for what I've learned from them. But there was also a part of me that was like trying to be them, and it was like
Oh,
misalignment, and so and when it's misaligned like that, whether consciously or subconsciously, people can feel it, and
right,
and there was
right.
this moment, I'll never forget it. It was like um uh, I was about to speak in front of an audience, and I had been, under the tutelage, so to speak, of one of my mentors who delivered presentations in a particular way, and I had tried to learn his methodologies, and there was so much that I learned and picked up on. But at the end of the day, like when I delivered presentations, I was trying to be him, and it wasn't me. Like I'm not him. I'm me. And I remember literally like an hour before I'm about to deliver this presentation, I was getting all twisted up inside, and I could feel like the anxiety bubbling up because I knew I was about to go deliver a presentation in a way that wasn't authentic to who I was. And I was scared about that. And so I remember calling a friend of mine, Victoria LeBom, and I just said, like, what do I do in this moment? Like, and she
Right.
really coached me through. She just said, just be you. Like, forget like what you're supposed to do, but just lean into who you are. And
Yeah.
I'm a geek at heart. I've got, weird janky sayings, and I love to have fun, and I'm silly. And I was always afraid to bring that out. And I was afraid that people, that I'd be perceived as unprofessional, or people wouldn't want to do business with me and so forth. But what's fascinating was, like, at that event, I remember I was taking questions from the audience, and one woman stood up. You'll know who these women are in a minute, but one woman stood up, and I couldn't quite see everything because it was the lights were bright. But I put my hands like this, and I could kind of see she had like a blue shirt and with something on it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but anyway, so she asked her question, and then the next person stood up and asked a question, and same sort of thing. I could kind of see, and it almost looked like she was wearing the same shirt. And these two women, by the way, were our friends Shanna and Jamie. And
Right.
so I said, wait a minute. I said, what are you wearing the same shirt as Jamie? And she said, yes. And then all of a sudden, like 12 people in the audience stood up, and they were all wearing the same shirt, which was a shirt of my face with all of my silly sayings on it. And I was
Yeah.
just like, what is happening here? And that was the moment. That was the moment that I realized, like, I I could be me, and people appreciate those
Yeah.
qualities and those characters. It may not be right for everybody, but for the people that it is right, it's going to be so much easier to attract those people if I
Yes.
just show up in that way. And so that was a big moment for me in business. And I learned from you in art. It's the same thing.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. Like, in the beginning, we may be trying to model another, artist technique, but the sooner that we can just learn to take from the technique, but begin to lean into our own style, our own approach, that's when the magic begins to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, it's so parallel, and it's so much easier, by the way. Being you actually is like, you already have that. It takes a little getting familiar with it if you've been being other people for a long time, but it is just, it's almost calming, to just
Mm.
rest in who you are and just trusting that, in your mark making, in how you talk about your work, all of that, and that's really the angle which I teach other artists to, like, this is the whole thing, from the CVC thing to the artist statement. It's like, it's as personal as possible.
And
But
Nicholas, one thing that you said, which I think is really important. Many times we discount, like, all the things that we are thinking, and the feeling, and the thought that's going into creating the thing that we're creating, right? And
right,
one of the things that I know from business is that in the consumer's minds, the value goes up when they know the story and the history and what goes into making the thing. And especially with art. Like, I have told you this, I don't know how many times, but I can sit there and watch you paint for hours on end, because you see, like, the thought and the creativity and the experimentation and the process of producing this final artwork, which only increases the appreciation for what
right.
is created in the end. And so, to document and to share that process, and to share, like, what's going through your mind and where the ideas are coming from and what you're trying with and what's working and what's not, people appreciate that, and it actually increases the value of what you ultimately produce in the end.
Right. Right. And you were saying, like, you're kind of quirky or whatever, but because you're sharing that, and you're being you, that starts attracting a certain kind of person. And there's lots of people. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world. And this kind of relates to this third thing that's so important, which is community, right? Like, and how you build that. And one of the ways is putting out who you are and what you stand for and what your art's like and all of that. And that attracts more people like that. And that's, and you're giving something of yourself, and then that brings in more people. And that is, that's how, you're giving something to this community that it's growing, and you're helping them, you're inspiring them, you're creating wonder for them, like we are servicing the world as artists, and if you're interested in how do you build that, how do you have more Instagram followers or more, I mean, that's what people are doing, they're just on the ride with you, that's such a, and that's your sweet spot,
Yeah. Well, listen, the journey is so much more fun when you have people to share it with. And I just think like many times in business, we're so afraid to stand for something that we end up not standing for anything. We're so afraid to show our passion for something because we're afraid of being judged or what have you. And I'm here to tell you, like in business, and I'm sure it's the same way in art. And Nicholas, this is what I believe you're saying here is that like when you take a stand, when you show up, when you are passionate for different reasons, that's the thing that's going to attract the very people that you want to serve. And it's almost like you're giving voice for all those people who are thinking and feeling the same thing. So they're like, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. They're saying this in their minds and they're
Right.
naturally drawn to you. And
Yeah.
so the more you can identify what are the things that you believe in, the things that you're passionate about, the things that you stand for, the more you can identify those things and give voice to them, both in the things that you say and the things that you do, but also the things that you produce, the more you will attract the very people that you want to serve. When you try to please everyone, you end up not pleasing anybody. So it's so much easier to just be you and to amplify the things that you are passionate about, the things that you do believe in, the things that you do value, and bring that into all the things that you are producing in your artwork because it's gonna attract
Yeah.
those that you want to serve.
So, well, you guys, we can go on and on here, and but I just wanted to like give you a glimpse into some of the influences I've had, and you can see how it relates. If you guys, you've been following me sometimes, some of you are new here, but how I teach, a lot of the principles of what I'm showing and sharing have come through Stu. So it's really cool. But listen, for those of you who are interested, in sort of grokking this business stuff, I've got a couple friends, artists who are also in this mastermind with me and about 20 other entrepreneurs. We've been in it for a few years together. It's Stu's mastermind, and we're going to have a live kind of conversation that. If, for those of you who are interested, you could click on the link below and join us in that. We're gonna do this next week. There's info at the links below, but I think you'll find it really interesting because we've got, there's folk artists that are selling their work. They're building membership sites. There's all kinds of things you can kind of do when you start understanding these principles. And I don't want to leave here also without just saying that, Stu has this, he once a year he has a training, and that's going to be coming up on Thursday, April 22nd, and it's all about building community, membership businesses, and it's amazing. It's a huge thing, but I'll have info on that. But if you want to come and check out this call, I think you would really get a lot out of it. So anyway,
Yeah.
am I missing anything, Stu? Any key information here?
Well, first and foremost, here's what I would say. Like, as artists, you're producing amazing work. And when you can build a business around the work that you're producing, you're able to impact so many more people. You're able to get your
Yeah,
artwork in front of so many more people. That's what this is about. Like when you have those resources to be able to get your work out into the hands of those who appreciate it, that's why we do what we do. And when you've got a business that can fuel that, it
yeah,
makes everything easier. And that's what we're going to chat about. We're going to chat about it like in the roundtable, and we're 100% going to talk about it during the free workshop to come and join us. By the way, that's on April 22nd. I highly recommend it
yeah.
because there,
I
I
go
will tell you
every
this.
year, you guys. I mean, I go every year. There's always stuff to learn. It's really amazing.
And here's the thing about this, Nicholas. This is probably for me one of the highlights of the work that we get to do. I the people who are thriving the most right now are creatives, and these creatives, like I can name a whole bunch of painters, people who have people teaching how to paint decorative door hangers, how to paint
Right.
decorative signs, how to do fine art. Like you're
Surface
like
pattern. Bonnie does surface pattern.
surface pattern,
Yeah.
like cartooning, like all kinds of art. And this is what's so fun, because the old myth of like, the artist is the starving artist. It's just not true anymore. Like and it's so amazing to watch, because now like artists are thriving. This is the time for artists. And this is the time when you acquire and learn these skills to get what you have in front of a whole lot more people. And it's like this whole circle of awesomeness where you're able to do more of the work that you love. You're able to serve more of the people that you love to serve. And everybody wins in this process when you learn these skills. That's what we're going to talk about during the free workshop that we host one time a year, April 22nd. And in the meantime, I encourage you to come and join the conversation that Nicholas and I will have with Emily and Bonnie. Hopefully can all join us. And this is where we'll just jam. We'll talk about this transformation and this journey of becoming a great artist and a great business person.
Dude, it's so great to talk to you. Thanks so much for jumping in here. I've wanted to do this for so long, and I've had so many questions. So I'm just really psyched everyone got to meet you. So thanks.
Well, thank you for having me, buddy. And listen, I love you. I love what you do. I love the way in which you show up, and I love the way in which you serve. And it's so fun to watch the ripple effect that you're having with so many people. And so I just want to encourage, wherever you're watching this, like, send Nicholas, send his team a thank you, and just shower them with love, because they pour so much heart, energy, and effort behind the scenes to support all of you. And like I said from the get-go, they are, Nicholas is always gushing about the progress that all of you are making. And he really does genuinely care. So send him some love, give him some high fives wherever you're watching this, and show up for him. But thank you, Nicholas, for having me. Thank you for sharing. And I look forward to our upcoming conversations.
Sounds good. Okay. Thanks.
Hey everyone, if you found this helpful, I have a whole lot more to teach, share, and inspire you with every single week. So please join the Art to Life YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Okay, great. Let's do this.